And so last week, when Kobe Bryant tragically dies in a helicopter crash, it set off a range of emotions, and it was fascinating to see how different people reacted to it and how different people are reacting to it right now. Over the last week, I've had parents tell me how frustrated they are with their children for how devastated they are over the death of Kobe Bryant. Why is it that you are so devastated over the death of an NBA star? The man had it all. He lived a life of glamour. You know, he has everything. There are so many other people that die and that go through tragedy all the time. Why are you so sad over this? And parents will actually admonish their children. People will admonish people online. Of course, mashallah, we have the online mashayikh, right, that will admonish everyone and say, what is wrong with you, and how dare you feel any type of mercy for this? How dare you feel pain, and stop feeling so much pain? And I want to reconcile as much as I can here for a moment that sometimes there can be two valid emotions that are at odds with one another. The valid emotion of mercy that someone has in their heart, a child or an adult, when they see a picture of a man and his daughter that perished so tragically, and the daughters and the family that they leave behind, the sudden nature of death to someone that they've been exposed to for a very long time, some children having grown up with him, some children having imagined themselves being him on a basketball court, all of that, that's a valid emotion, and we should not try to invalidate that emotion. We should try to channel it. Don't crush your children because they feel that great sadness over that death. Instead, help them process that emotion to where they can channel it in a way that's productive. Well, how many other people do die and they don't get this tribute? Don't they deserve that type of tribute as well? How many people are desecrated, have their dignity and honor taken? How many people die so tragically, usually at the hands of another person? And we don't really care for them. We don't learn their names. We don't connect with them. That's not you are wrong or you have a problem because you feel that emotion. That's rahmah. That's mercy in the heart. And so let's start with that. Let's start with the first valid emotion here and not try to invalidate it. I cannot imagine the Prophet ﷺ looking at an image of a father and a daughter smiling, hugging each other, clearly a lot of love between them, having perished as tragically as they did, and not feeling rahmah in his heart and not feeling that pain. I can't think of the Prophet ﷺ seeing that. And I usually don't like to do if he was here, but there are some things that you can bank on. Certainty. Rahmatan lil alameen, a mercy to the world. I can't imagine the Prophet ﷺ with his capacity seeing that image and not feeling pain. فَلَعَلَّكَ بَاخِعٌ نَفْسَكَ عَلَى أَثَارِهِمْ. The one who worried both over the dunya and the akhirah, the salvation of every single human being that came around him. That's mercy. That's mercy. And you have to remember that this is the Prophet ﷺ who was an orphan himself, looking at 3 orphan daughters. No money is going to be able to replace a father in their lives. Nothing is going to be able to take care of that. The Prophet ﷺ had that depth. And it was the Prophet ﷺ who stood up when the funeral of an unknown Jewish man passed by. And the Sahaba were surprised. And what were the words of the Prophet ﷺ? Alaysat nafsan? Isn't it a human soul? I can't imagine the Prophet ﷺ simply turning his face out and saying, whatever, there are bigger problems to worry about. It's a valid emotion of rahmah and mercy that Allah puts in our hearts. We shouldn't negate it. We should not admonish our children because they feel hurt. We shouldn't admonish people when they feel that hurt and pain. Some people don't know why they feel so hurt. I'm one of them who, yes, I would hurt over it, but a lot of people would say, I don't know why. I've had so many people say, I don't know why I'm grieving so much. I feel a little guilty for the amount of grief I have over the death of Kobe Bryant. It's not making sense to me, and I'll get back to that in a minute. The valid emotion that exists on the other side, which is a valid emotion, is, well, what about the others? Also a valid emotion. Starting with the other passengers on the plane that don't get the tribute, that don't get the tweets, that don't get the tears on TV, that don't get the endless coverage, whose deaths just seem so insignificant when compared to Kobe Bryant and his daughter. And subhanAllah, if you were to walk into a grocery store in Dallas There's a possibility you would bump into the brother of John Altobelli, who actually lives here. John Altobelli, his wife and daughter, all perished in that helicopter crash. You'd see him and you wouldn't know that was his brother, his sister-in-law, his niece, that were in that helicopter as well. And he was interviewed on local Fox, and he said, Kobe Bryant deserves all the press he's getting, and he was a tremendous person, but so was my brother. Different person, different sports, but same kind of personality. He was a great giver. I want people to know that about him. Can you imagine the pain those families are feeling right now, that their loved ones are seemingly insignificant in this? So that's a valid emotion. How do we get productive on that side? The way that you're productive with that emotion of natural mercy is good. You feel empathy when you see a father who lost his daughter, or who died with his daughter and the 3 daughters. That's a good thing. That's rahmah. How do I expand that? How do I expand it? Not how do I crush it, how do I expand it and make it more inclusive, more expansive, so I can include those who I've been ignoring all of this time maybe.